getting the gist that maybe having the 4 or 4:30 alternating is it's a little it's confusing for me. Would it be helpful if like a reminder was sent like in advance in your chat for Senate, like about what time it'll be that week? Would that be something that would be helpful?
We can definitely do that. If people want a reminder time, I can definitely send those out. I did have one in the email that it was at 4 p.m. I thought for the agenda, but I can do that day of so people know in the Slack. No problem there.
I know I get an email an hour before the meeting starts. It says that your meeting starts in 1 hour.
There's that as well.
But I don't mind the Slack as well. I'm not down in extra.
Yeah, there's no problem with there's absolutely no problem with me sending it in the Slack too. I can definitely do that going forward so that we are always here on time and ready to go. But how's it looking? Do we have everyone back? I'm going to assume we do and move right along. All right, let me get the agenda back up, share the screen. We have more to do. All right, with committee breakouts done, we are now moving into new business. So we have the confirmation of an associate justice. That's Kristen Evans. Please take that away. Highest justice. What are they called? Not the top justice. Who's that?
Chief Justice Ashley.
Chief Justice. Yeah, I couldn't remember if I went for highest justice. I thought Chief Justice. Yes, Chief Justice Putnam Murray, if she's here. I assume she takes charge of.
He's not here, but I'm nominating Kristen. So
okay, then lead the charge.
Yeah, I'll just restate. Yeah, she needs to get bumped up to panelist because she's gonna tell us who she is and what she's about. But just kind of clarifying how the process goes. Kristen will introduce herself, tell you why she wants to be an associate justice, then we'll boot her out. And then we'll discuss her, vote on whether we confirm her to be an associate justice or not, and then she'll come back into the meeting. So with that being said, and if she's bumped up and ready to go, Kristen, the floor is yours, my love.
Hi, my name is Kristen Evans, and I'm a freshman, and I'm actually from Houston, Texas. I know that's a long way from Michigan, but I'm extremely happy to be here. The justice system inspires me more than ever now because of a situation that happened to me last semester at the university I went to before Western called Stephen F. Austin. And basically my 3 roommates and 4 other girls tried to frame me, and they made up a lie to make it seem like I was going to harm someone. But in reality, they felt threatened by how smart I was and how confident I am and just how I carry myself overall as a woman. So my aspiration in life is to become a successful lawyer and defend those who are innocent, because there are way too many people who are innocent that get punished for crimes that they didn't commit. So I want to help make a huge difference in the world. I want to help any way I can. And I just want to make things as diverse as I can possibly make them. So.
Awesome, cool. We're gonna reach out, Kristen, and we'll invite you back in a second after we're done.
Madam President, is there questioning?
You know what? Yes, there is. I forgot that because we had so many video submissions that we weren't able to ask questions. So actually, yes, we will open up the floor for questioning now. Are there any questions for Kristen? Senator Gonzalez, you can proceed with your question.
All right, thank you for being here. So my question is, from your previous school, what changes do you want to implement to Western and what you want to bring? I know you talked about your story and your personal testimony, which I appreciate, but what social and what common things were going on in your past school that you kind of want to see change here at Western or don't want to see?
I want to make sure that everyone is included, because at my past school, it was basically every man for himself. Like no one knew anything, no one knew what was going on. So I want to make sure everyone feels really included, and I just want there to be equal opportunity for everyone. I don't want there to be just like a special, like, I just want there to be equal opportunity for everyone, and everyone needs to have their chance to say what they need to say.
Senator Taylor, proceed with your question.
Yeah. Your favorite current Supreme Court justice and why?
I don't have one because I am, they all have things that I like and they all have things that I don't like. So, I can't say that I have a favorite one.
Thank you.
I don't think we have any more questions. So if I'm trying to leave it open. No? Okay, then we're gonna boot you out, Kristen. And we'll invite you back in a second.
Madam President, she's on hold.
All right, perfect. Okay, we can open the floor for discussion before we go into a vote. Who would like to make the first discussion point? Senator Gonzalez.
All right. So one thing that really stood out to me was her testimony, her personal testimony, because it takes a lot of guts to be like, talk to a bunch of strangers and be like, hey, so this happened to me, and it wasn't really great. So, yeah, with that being said, I just appreciate that, and it takes some courage.
I'd like to recognize myself before Speaker Shapiro. I had the opportunity to have a sit-down dinner with her and her mom when they were touring Western. She literally just transferred at the beginning of this semester. And she's so sweet, so nice. I gave her tips on how to survive the winter here in the Midwest. And she's so excited about the snow. And she has the same passion of mind, and I'm going to law school and ultimately become a Supreme Court justice. And she's just a very passionate individual. She was in competitive cheer at her college that she was in, and her teammates were a part of that whole scenario that she just described to you all, and was very disheartening when I was introduced about like to her and her story and everything like that. But yeah, she's super great girl. I think she'll do fine in the associate justice position, especially under the Ashley, and this will be like a good stepping stone for her. And I hope she can continue to be in WSA's legacy, because the first thing she said was, is there a student government? And I was like, yep, there sure is. And I'm already recruiting you. So, so she's really ready to fight the fight with us. And with that, I yield. We can move on to Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, I think she was very well composed being here. It's something we definitely need, more professionalism. We just came out, I think that's great. But I also really liked, I know when Senator Taylor asked her what her favorite justice was, I liked her answer because it was not a partisan answer. She wasn't choosing one that might have certain politics or might not. And that's the whole point of being a justice. She wasn't choosing a favorite. She definitely wasn't choosing at all, because they're appointed by different people, and then you can delve politics from there. But her nonpartisan behavior in answering that question was something I liked. So I think she'd be great.
Perfect. I'm not seeing any other discussion points in the chat. Would anyone else like to make another discussion point? If not, then we can move into voting. All right, let's get to it.
Do I launch that, or are you going to launch that, Eric? Who launches it?
Sorry, I was reading the process.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Mr. Speaker, I'll let you close the poll when you deem enough voting time has passed.
Thank you. 10 more seconds. Alrighty. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, let's give Kristen a round of applause. Congratulations, or a silent round of applause. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, go ahead. Bring her back in.
President, Kristen just re-entered the chat.
LOL, I thought I heard the ding and I thought that was her. Let's give her a round of applause. Congratulations, Kristen. Welcome back.
All right, we will move right along to our next item. That is next item. We have the co-chair confirmation for the Vice President of Rules, Bylaws, and Administration. That's Kathy Garneau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So, Vice President Eagle, I will let you take the floor.
Awesome, fantastic. I am super excited Kathy's going up. Kathy has been a part of WSA for probably longer than me. I'm super excited. She's going up as my co-chair because she was heavily involved in the election season last year, serving as a campaign representative for our dear Aaron Westrick's presidential campaign. So Kathy has lots of election experience, which I'm super excited to have her bring to this team. And there's lots of other great stuff about her, and I'll just let her go ahead and tell you herself.
Thanks, Ruby. I love you, Ruby. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Kathy. A lot of you are new faces to WSA, so I don't think you guys know me all that well. I am a secondary education major at Western, studying English and biology. This is my 5th year at Western. And I've been in WSA not longer than Ruby, only since like last year. And some other stuff that I've doing or done, I'm like the president of my volunteer organization, Focus Kalamazoo. I've been involved with them since I started coming to school here. I want to get involved with the RBA stuff because I really love WSA and I love a lot of the ways in which it runs. And I've always been involved with not always, but last year I got really involved with legislation and passing legislation around, and I want to just keep getting involved. One thing I do want to address before going into questioning is that I was previously in cabinet over the summer and I did have to resign. And I resigned purely because I had to make $8,000 appear before school started because my federal aid capped. And that was more stress than being VP for academic affairs at that time. So yeah, I'm all set.
Thank you, Kathy. Does anyone like to ask her any questions? Would anyone like to ask her any questions?
I would. My question is, did you get that $8,000 you needed?
Yeah, I made $8,000 magically appear out of nowhere. I don't understand how. I should be a financial advisor and not a teacher, but we wing it.
Well, congratulations. Won't he do it?
Oh, also, just in case any of you guys are hitting that point, I learned that FAFSA recognizes the age that you are turning, and if you are turning 24, when you fill out your FAFSA, you become an independent and your money moves around a little bit differently. So be aware of that jump, guys, because that's fun.
Any more questions? I'm sure we could squeeze one more out. I'll call on someone. Don't make me. I won't do that. That's terrible. I hate teachers when they do that. Who do we got? Okay. Alrighty. Well, then we can move into discussion. So if Kathy could be moved into a waiting room, we can begin.
He's in the waiting room.
Thank you, sir. Discussion may begin. Who are we starting with? Okay, we'll start with me. I thought she seemed really nice. I think that she's had previous experience in WSA is a definite plus over, being someone who's not experienced, obviously. So, okay, I'm done talking. We got Elijah. Go ahead, Senator Lewis.
I've known Kathy for the last 2-3 years now, and she's very, very dedicated. Kathy stands up for what she believes. She's a go-getter. She's the first person in the room, and she's the last person to leave. I know it. I've seen her work. She turns down many fun opportunities because there's still work left on the table. So there's no question, there's no doubt in my mind when anybody puts her up for another challenge and or position that if she accepts it, she's going to excel at it. And she's one of those diamonds in the rough that WSA needs. And I think that she has that it factor, if you will.
Thank you, Senator Lewis. Anyone else? All right, then we will move into voting. If Eric, you could go ahead and send out that poll. I'll give you all 40 seconds from when the poll hits. All righty, there we go. Looks like she was confirmed. Go ahead and bring her back in.
She's rejoined the meeting.
All righty, congratulations, Kathy. You are confirmed as the co-chair. So you get nothing right now, but you get to be a co-chair. So that's great. Did those get shared? I don't remember if they did. Yeah, results. Cool. All righty, moving swiftly on. Let me share my screen once again. All right. Next on our list, we have the confirmation for the new vice president for public relations, whose name escapes me right now. And for some reason, I did not put on the agenda. So I will leave that to the president and executive vice president or whoever wishes to speak.
Permission to speak?
Yes, sir.
Could we delay Mason? He sent a video, but he's like 2 minutes before he's in the meeting. Oh, he's here.
In the meeting.
Oh, he's here.
Okay.
Disregard.
All right. Let's begin with his presentation of himself. So if someone could get him talking. Okay, I could talk too. Okay, there we go.
Hi. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry, I don't know how this works. Do I have to do the permission thing? I don't know.
Yeah, if you want,
I'm just gonna go.
If you want to just give a brief background about yourself and why you're so great, which you are. Everybody, he's great. He's gonna do fantastic in the position. It's his passion. So, yeah, just give some background, and then they'll ask questions if they have questions, and then they'll say yes or no. I hope it's a yes. Please be it.
All right. Well, great. Aside from that stellar introduction, I'm Mason Warnock. I'm a graphic design major. I'm a senior and I'm graduating in the spring, but he's right. Graphic design is all I do. 2018, 2020, I did all the marketing and design for CAB. Anything pre-COVID with a CAB logo was me. And then I did Virtual Bash over the summer too. Bronco Bash turned Virtual Bash. So I have a lot of experience marketing on this campus to these students. I know the whole ins and outs. If you need something printed, I know where to go. I got all that locked down. From a graphic design major, I stress branding a lot. So you're going to see a lot of consistency across the board, colors, fonts, brand stuff on the website, print, digital, all that. That's it. Any questions?
I'll give you one. Oh, what got you into graphic design?
Well, the fun story is freshman year of high school, you know, when you write a letter to your senior self, I wrote, I want to be a graphic designer. And when I got to senior year, I had no idea what I wanted to do, but that letter turned me back to graphic design. So that's the cute story. But really, I've been, you know, drawing and I've been to art my whole life, and design is like the best way to monetize that. So I love it so much.
Cool. Thank you.
The Yachty poster, that's tucked away in files, or I would show you. That's like archived somewhere, but you can go to the CAB Instagram and check it out from there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What goals do you have for WSA in terms of our social media and website and things?
Social media, I think Twitter is huge because it's more of a direct line to students outside of them emailing us. There's a bit more of a conversation there, and Twitter is more, it's better at that than Instagram, or I guess Facebook's all right. But you know, I want to revive the Twitter and say, this is your direct line to WSA. Yeah.
Have we any more questions?
There's one in the chat, Mr. Speaker. Charles.
Is there?
Vice President.
Oh, yeah, Charles. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Mason, hello again.
Hello.
In this position, one of the things that you'd be working on is helping me with like the brand identity guide and working with me closely for the WSA website for graphics and stuff. Do you have any like idea what you'd like to see graphic wise, like specifics, as well as do you potentially have any ideas on the brand guide we started this summer?
Oh, so that brand guidelines is brand new. I didn't know that.
That's all right.
I can't tweak that too much. You know, the colors are blue. The WSA logo has a serif font, which means it's got the little extra bits on the end of the letters. So I've got to stick to that kind of language. But there's some extra flexibility in there. You know, like you can do secondary colors. I don't think there's any secondary colors on the brand guidelines. So something like that could really spice up the brand. Good question.
Have we any more, or any that I missed in the chat? What we got? Oh, that's just Henry. All right, since I hear none, see none, we will move on to discussion. So, Eric, if you would, thank you. All right, what do we have on him? What are we thinking? What are we thinking of this guy? Any neat ideas? I'll go, please, VP Morris.
Perfect. Yeah. Full disclosure, I absolutely love Mason. Worked with Mason in a lot of different capacities. I think he's a great fit. I've been with him in CAB. I've been with him on Virtual Bash, and now hopefully in WSA. I think he's very competent. He's very on top of it, and he's very organized. He's an awesome person to work with. I know a lot of U.S. senators might not necessarily be working with him directly on the design, but any suggestions that you have along the way about any posters or events or website design, like he's your go-to guy. So he's pretty good at what he does. With that I yield.
Secretary Holzberger.
Hello. Although I don't really know him at all yet, I do hear what he said when it came to knowing the ins and outs of his job. And just watching Alexis or VP Morris and the old VP Vincent do their job, it takes a lot of work. It is very difficult. And he already has all that background down, it sounds like. So I'm definitely in support of this.
President West?
I just wanted to tell a quick story. For those who attended the Corey Wise event that happened last September, so not this year, but last year, CAB was having their e-board meeting the day that we got introduced to this opportunity. Yeah, Alexis, it was planned in a week, executed in a week. Great. I remember I walked into CAB's e-board meeting and I was like, yeah, just give me 5 minutes, pitched this idea of having Corey Wise come to campus. I said, Mason, can you make a poster in 48 hours? He said, yep. And then that was it. The posters were all over campus. So Mason, and he knows that I still have to buy him a lobster because I owe him everything for that. Yeah, so Mason's literally the bee's knees. With that, I yield.
I love the bee's knees. That's great. All right. Any other discussion points? Okay, cool. We will move into voting. So that's another 40 seconds for voting. Actually, 40 seconds is fine. Please, senators, all of you vote if you're here. All right, it looks like he passed the test. So he is our new guy. Assume he's back in now. Congratulations, sir. You are the new vice president for public relations.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Cool. All right. Moving on swiftly and surely. And that's a Zoom link. Ignore that. We're going to go back to this. All right. So now next topic, new business, is the Secretary of Senate nominations / confirmations. I got to stop trying to talk fast. It just doesn't work with my tongue. So that being said, all of the Senate, you have got my email from this past Monday, how we are going to extend this and give you more senators time to consider running for this. Now, traditionally, the Secretary of Senate would be nominated by me and then voted on by the rest of you, but I think it's just way too fun to make a race out of it. I think you'll get more out of it. I think it'd be fun, and I think it'll bring us together and get us to know each other more, especially those who are running. So I will just go over the rules again for this, because in the Constitution there really is no, because this is basically I'm going to nominate them. You guys vote, and then I nominate it. The person. Pardon me, I talk way too quick and use it. Nominate the person who becomes the next Secretary of the Senate. So those of you who are interested, please email me before January 29th to be put on the list, and then have a up to 1 minute speech prepared to present on February 3rd. That's 2 weeks from now. And then those who present will then be voted on by the rest of the Senate, and the winner will become the next Secretary of the Senate. This is a race for the Secretary position, and it should be fun for you all. And it should be cool. Should be cool. Something spicy. Spice up these meetings, you know. So basically, that's it. If anyone has any questions, I will answer them, or we will move on to the next agenda item. So what have we got? Any questions for that? You're also free to email. Oop, go ahead.
Are you taking nominations right now?
I'm taking basically, I'm nominate you. People can nominate themselves now, but they will not present their up to 1 minute speech until February 3rd. So if someone wants to nominate themselves now in front of everyone, they're free to do so, or they can email me before the 29th.
Can we nominate other people right now?
If you would like. Who are we nominating? Who's up? Let me write. I'm ready. Oh, wait, we got chat. Hang on. Vice President Poole, you'd like to speak?
Thank you. Can I nominate someone, please?
You may.
Can I nominate Senator Gonzalez?
Oh, yeah, Senator Gonzalez. All right, we've got one nomination. Of course, Senator Gonzalez, so you're still here, I assume. You can refuse the nomination. You don't have to do it, but I encourage you to do it. I do. So do you have anything to say, or Senator Gonzalez, or putting your name down?
Thank you, VP Poole, for nominating me. I will take that nomination into consideration, and I will have my speech ready for you on Wednesday, or next meeting.
Next Senate meeting, not the joint one. Nothing's happening there. So February 3rd. Cool. Thank you. Anyone else? If not, you can say accept or respectfully decline. Yes, President West is correct. You can do one of those two. If you can find a third option, I really implore you to do so. That'd be interesting. But seeing none, hearing none, I will move on to the next. Oh, we got Senator Brian Taylor. Is that a me to talk or a me to nominate yourself?
Not to nominate myself, but to nominate someone else.
Go ahead.
I would like to nominate Senator Mutombo. He's done some great work on some of the bills that we worked on in the past and are currently working on, and I think he would make a fine addition as a secretary.
Thank you, Senator Taylor. Senator Mutombo, what do you say?
Thank you, Senator Taylor. I accept your nomination.
You have an accept. Awesome. Anyone else? Let's get them rolling. Let's get you all running. Shoot. Let's get you all in this. That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be so cool. Leslie Gonzalez. Senator Leslie Gonzalez, you may speak. I like the I, by the way. That's a chant, like instead of me, I shall speak. Okay, go on.
I nominate Senator Elijah Lewis.
Senator Lewis, what say you, Senator Lewis? Thank you, by the way, Senator Gonzalez. Here.
Sorry, I didn't hear that correctly. Can what happened?
Senator Leslie Gonzalez has nominated you to for the Secretary of the Senate position.
Wow. Yeah, I'll do it.
Well, this is for the
For the thing, yeah, I know.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm honored. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we will put you down on the list. That means so all those. Anyone else want to be nominated? Anyone else? Come on. Let's get this train going. I'm liking this. I'm liking these nominations. All great people, really. All of you. Come on. Let's do it. I'll write you all down. I won't. I'm just getting excited. I'm getting excited. That's all that's happening. I'm just getting excited. With that being said, those of you who are nominated today, do prepare that up to 1 minute speech for February 3rd at our next Senate only meeting. And the winner will be chosen by the Senate. So you will have Senate chosen secretary. All right, moving swiftly on. Senate election code, read only. So the Senate election code was sent out to you with the agenda for this week. So please review that thoroughly, as it will be voted on at the joint meeting of the legislature next week. So we won't dwell on that too closely unless Vice President Eagle, do you want to take questions on it right now?
We can hold off on questions until next week. I just urge that you all read through that very carefully. It's quite the lengthy document. It is the entire code that candidates running for elected office have to follow. So take it very seriously, please. And I am open to all suggestions, but bring your suggestions to the joint meeting.
Thank you, Vice President Engel. Before we move on, we have our entire meeting time has expired. I would like to entertain a motion to exhaust the agenda. There's only a few items left. So I'm going to entertain that if anyone would like to.
Motion to exhaust the agenda.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Consent? Consent. Thank you. Yes, Executive Vice President Wright, you may speak.
I was just going to say, before we move past the student election code, I just want to urge what Ruby said. Please read the document. Please come prepared. We will have, not a lot of time to go through that 11-page document. So please come prepared with things you want to talk about, things you want to edit, exact verbiage that you want to change, because we will have a guest speaker and the time will dwindle down. If we don't get it passed in that session, it will just hinder election season. It will take off time for candidates running. So please do your best to come to the next meeting prepared.
Thank you, Executive Vice President. Okay, moving on to the senators at large. So as it stands, there are 5 senators at large. You all know who you are, I assume, to which I will also be reaching out to you after this meeting. But we are going to get you places. We're going to get you, because as of current, you don't represent an academic college, nor do you represent WMX or Greek Life. So that being said, I want to talk about ideas with you all to see what you would like to do to get you active. My current idea is to have you all be what I would consider a general survey committee. That being, you reach out to the students that the other senators don't get and have your forums, because you do have constitutional duties, that being a student forum and meeting with a dean twice a semester. You can't exactly meet with a dean, so the next best thing is another school official, someone in administration or something like that. So those senators at large who I will email, and we will schedule a time to meet either one-on-one or all as a group. We will talk about sorry, I'm reading the chat. We will talk about your responsibilities as just senators at large. And I think the big one is to hold some sort of forum in a public manner at the Bernhard Center or somewhere else and get that out to students so that you can gauge from students who might not get caught at any of the other academic colleges. So with that said, if any of the senators at large who are here have a question, please feel free to ask it right now. But you will also be receiving an email from me either tonight or sometime before the week is over. So any questions from those senators at large? Okay. With that said, we'll move on to the election holiday bill. Now, this is a bill that the Political Affairs Committee was started with an outside party, Mr. Alex Lawrence, and me being on the Political Affairs Committee have also been a part of it. And we have been working on that pretty diligently, and my camera is out of focus, pretty diligently, and it's coming together. But we need the help of the rest of the Senate to really get administrative support for this from deans and from other faculty members, so that because passing this bill is one step. The next step after is to actually get the administration to want it. So I'm going to open it up to Mr. Alex Lawrence to discuss it more, since this was his initial thought. He should be here. If he is, hopefully he's elevated to speaker. And
I'm here.
Okay, you have the floor, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Senate, for allowing me to. My talking points went away. Give me a second, but I appreciate y'all giving me the time to speak. Let me pull up my talking points. Oh my gosh, I haven't been on Zoom in a long time. All right, let's see here. Sorry, my windows keep jumping around. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Everyone can hear me, can see me. Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank you all for allowing me to talk with you today about a project that I'm working on. For those who don't know me, my name is Alex Lawrence. I'm a student at Western, obviously, and also a fellow for an organization called Campus Election Engagement Project and a student member for We Vote. These organizations are committed to promoting civic learning through democratic engagement. So throughout my time at Western, this has been my main focus, my main passion. Everybody who knows me knows that civic engagement is a big part of what I like to do. I will constantly ask you questions if you're registered to vote, and if you're not, then I'm gonna keep nagging on you to get registered to vote. But like I said, I'm here to discuss with you a project that I've also had the opportunity to work with Speaker Shapiro and Senator Taylor on a bill that would make Election Day a university-wide holiday on all federal and state elections. Just going to give you some context about the voting demographics at Western. In 2014, voter turnout among WMU students was at about 18.5%, which is really low. And in 2018 midterms, our voter turnout among our students increased by 16.1% to 34.5%, which is in the right direction. We're seeing a good trend, but we're wanting to improve that. And we are still waiting to get 2020 election and 2016 data to compare. We should have that hopefully in February. But let's get more. Last spring, I introduced legislation encouraging the university to cancel all classes on election day. It did pass the Senate, but it did get lost during, the whole COVID transition, the new president and a vice president transition. We actually voted on this resolution the day we found out that classes were not going to be in person they just announced that classes were going to move online for 2 weeks, but it turned out to be, almost a year now. So, yep. And so after talking with Vice President Barada, we thought it would be best to reintroduce legislation so we could really be nitpicky about what we want this resolution to look like, and so on and so on. So Speaker Shapiro and Senator Taylor and I have drafted a university bill that will soon go before the Senate and House. But before it does, we'd like to ask senators to meet with their college deans to talk about this bill and ask for their support. This is a big task to undertake. This is, working with the student government, working with the faculty senate, and working with the administration to make this happen. There's all these bunch of moving parts. And of course, Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Taylor and I can't all do that on our own. So we're asking you guys if you would be willing to meet with your college deans. We'll supply you with some talking points regarding this legislation. It's super important. Other universities in the state of Michigan have done this, and they are currently doing it. Central Michigan, they did pass this in their legislature, but it still hasn't made it. This is 2 years now. They still haven't got it actually a part of their university calendar. Wayne State, just a couple years ago, made Election Day an official university holiday. They even did one more thing, is making a polling location like Western has on their campus. And that was, a big undertaking from what I heard from Wayne State's former student body president. And then of course, MSU, they just did this this last spring for this fall. They were actually they made their election day, they made sure their fall break fell under on election day, but of course, COVID, so there was no students on campus, so that but these are schools that are currently doing this. And I think it would be a great thing for Western to do, because obviously you see our student turnout, our voter turnout is low, and we want to get that youth turnout up more. As we saw in just this past election, youth turnout was a record. It was a record turnout. So hopefully we can get something like this in place at Western, so our students don't have to worry about choosing class or their constitutional right to vote or to go to class. Students can still get penalized for not showing up to class or being late to class because they're voting, and that shouldn't be a thing. And that's something that the university should respect and honor, and even give their own staff and faculty that time to go and make their vote, cast their ballots. So like I said, we're asking if senators would like to meet with their deans to kind of talk about what's going on with this and hopefully get their support. I think the more support we see from faculty and other lower administration, I think that's going to set up a pretty good coalition. So where the university feels pressure in having to support this. I'm willing to open it up to any questions or discussions points you guys might have. Thank you.
Vice President Effinger, go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Lawrence, when you were coming up with this proposal, Is there a reason you decided to go with a university holiday instead of, say, excusing individuals from required attendance or exams? As an aviation student, I know the FAA requires us to be in class for X amount of hours, and instrument ground school falls on a Tuesday, which would be canceled every single time an election occurs. And furthermore, all flight training would have to halt as well, which, I'm sure you can assume, would be very important to our major. So I'm just kind of curious what the thought process was behind this.
Oh, yes, I would love to answer that question. So originally, when I introduced this legislation last semester, it was what you just discussed, the excusing of exams and all of that type of stuff. But when I introduced that on the Senate floor, there was a formal amendment made to take it one step further, where it would make this cancelization of classes and everything like that make it a school holiday. So that's why I decided to start that route again, is because that was the consensus from last session back in the spring from the student government. So I thought just start there. And if we want to go in a different direction, I'm totally open for that. I mean, when I first introduced that legislation last year, it was ready to go. I had faculty support, I had some administration support, and that would have been put in place to where we could have had that in place for November 2020. But our Senate last year decided that it didn't go further enough, and they wanted to for it to go one level further. So that's why I decided to reintroduce it at that level.
Thank you very much.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Lawrence? Okay. You have something to say, sir?
I will thank you guys for letting me speak. I will drop my email in the chat. So if any of you guys want to get in touch, my email is open, or also reach out to Speaker Shapiro and Senator Taylor. Thank you all so much, and happy Western Wednesday.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Senator Brian Taylor, did you want to discuss this bill as well, or how are we feeling?
Yeah, and I'll make it quick. I don't want to stand between everybody and dinner. Just two things. Mr. Lawrence did mention that there are other universities in the state and across the nation that are doing this. And one of the great things I've always thought that WSA brings to the students is getting them involved in basically everything from governance to the basic process of democracy. We're lucky to have a country where we can vote. Been to countries where that's not an option. But it also, on that day, even if you were to not vote in person, allows volunteer opportunities. Again, there are many first-time voters. When I was at Western, I was a first-time voter as well. It was a very exciting process. And, this really helps us foster the civic engagement portion of WSA that I think is very, very important. So let's not let the other universities in the state get all the credit. I believe Western's 100 times better than Michigan State. Let's show the state who we are.
Thank you, Senator Lawrence. I'm going to, does anyone have any questions for him? Or Senator Lawrence, I am so sorry, Senator Taylor. See, it's hitting my bedtime, apparently.
It's all right. It's all right.
Only 100, says VP Henry. No thanks. Nope, no time for 100. But if you'd like, you can email, or if you have one that you'd like to, unless you're joking. If you're joking, then that's fine too. You can ask one, Henry, if you have one.
No, that was a comment about him saying MSU's only 100 times better.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't have 100 questions.
Oh, I literally thought you meant 100 questions. See, I tell you what, it's getting dark. It's getting bad. I'm like a dog. I'm like a baby puppy.
1,000
times. Anyway, moving on to our next item, and close to one of our last. Okay, so the next one for our announcements, speaker office hours. So my office hours are Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Please come to me for literally anything. If you want to vent or you want to discuss something or you have any ideas for how we can make these Senate meetings more enjoyable or more efficient, I really do want you to come and bring those. So with that, I will end. There is my office hour link. So tonight I will be there from 7 to 8. So those who want to continue our discussion from the beginning about Speaker Westrick's resignation, we can continue that there starting at 7. With that said, there's a new section in the adjournments. Basically, it's like the 30-second shout outs, just calling it notes from the speaker or from the senators. So if any of the senators have something they'd like to say to the rest of the Senate, please, this is your chance to say anything. And I will give you time to think of that. Like Mr. Chris Sly says, anything, say anything you want. It could be a joke that you heard, or maybe you have a nice story, or maybe you know where to find an ostrich egg around this time of the year. I'm looking for one again. Okay, that being said, it looks like seeing none, hearing none. Oh, okay, whatever. I am like really misreading the chat because it's going by so fast. Anyway, so after that we have, oh, thank you, President West. I appreciate that. With that said, we are going to move on to notes from the cabinet. So if cabinet members have anything they would like to say, like VP Barada, go ahead. Here they come.
Hi, everyone. So if you guys read our statement that we put together after the election, which Speaker Dakota as well as Senator Taylor helped me out with, and several cabinet members. We really wanted to bring up some opportunity for students to know how they can hold their new elected officials accountable. So our first official, I guess, working towards holding true to our statement, we're going to be having our advocacy workshop this Monday. It's going to be from 4:30 to 5:30 on Zoom webinar. So I will send you guys all the link for that in the Slack chat. It would be really great if a lot of you could come, and also if you could send it to your deans that you work with. I would really appreciate that. I'm gonna try to connect with our new VP for PR to get something put together so we can advertise it, since it is so last minute. So it would really help me out if you guys would promote it when I send that link. It's just gonna be an hour-long Zoom meeting where our Vice President for Government Relations, Jeff Brenneman, and then the Associate VP, Katie John, are going to come and kind of give you their best tried and true tips and tricks for advancing causes to your elected officials, and also how to bring issues forward and what the best practices for that are. And then I'll let you guys in on the secret as our senators, working really hard to get Debbie Staffenaugh's Chief of Staff to attend this event and give you kind of that insider view on what things, when they get letters, really stand out to them. So it'll be a really unique opportunity to hear from these people and get their perspective. And it's going to be interactive, so you'll be able to ask questions as well. So it'd be great to have you all there, and also to have you promote it, since we didn't get this settled until a meeting today with everything going on in the Capitol. So please and thank you, come to the event and support it. It's going to be a really exciting time, and definitely, like President West just said, great tools to have for the future.
Thank you, Vice President Barada. Next, Vice President Eagle.
I just wanted to shout out Senator Cody Miller Holcomb. He got a whole bunch of work for me to do this week, and he did it. So I'm very, very happy to have him on my team. So I just wanted to shout him out. Also, please, 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 please read the student election code. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Eagle. Vice President Poole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Happy Western Wednesday. I can't speak. Happy Western Wednesday, everyone. We love that. For me, all I wanted to say was first, congratulations, Speaker Dakota Shapiro, because he did a phenomenal job today. So round of applause, everyone. And then second, I am working on a university bill, if you will, which is being co-sponsored by Ruby Eagle and our lovely Henry Beery. So forewarning, if you guys would like to read up on the CHIRP resolution, which is on the website, because I don't think a lot of people know what that is, it will make discussion a lot easier when you guys see it. And I just want to make sure everyone has a clear understanding like what it is, because there is some stuff that is going to get changed potentially. So that's all. With that, I yield.
Thank you, Vice President Poole. Executive Vice President Wright.
All right. I was just going to remind everybody about Mental Health Week. That is coming up sooner than we think. Probably about less than a month. February 15th is the beginning of it. So if you guys want any updates on what our progress is or what things are looking like, please reach out to me or anybody else on the team. Also, the legacy. I hope you guys enjoyed receiving that for the first time. It's another one of our steps toward being completely transparent, not only with you guys, but with the entire student body about what's going on with WSA. We didn't receive a lot of survey participation. So if you guys got it, please make sure you're going down and completing the survey. There are some things in that survey that we'd like to hold as a strong point when we communicate with the administration. So please, if you haven't already, take the time to go to that email. It was sent out last Wednesday at around 10 a.m. and complete that survey. I'd greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Executive Vice President Wright. President West.
I was also going to bring up the legacy. I don't know how many of you have read it, but if you did, great. If you didn't, read it and tell it to everyone. Tell everyone to read it. Be super annoying. Say, hey, have you read the legacy? I literally had to go to people's computer and pull it up for them. So I'll be happy if you're being annoying about it, because we want as many students to see this, because we've been working really hard to get it up and going. And then the second thing I wanted to say was make sure that you're checking the positional updates that cabinet members update every week for you all to look at. I know on my section specifically, I have things that I need feedback on from senators. So if you have any answers or ideas from the things that I highlighted on there, it literally says tips that I need from senators. You can visit me in my office hours on Fridays from noon to 2. With that, I yield.
Thank you, President West. I'm seeing no more people on the speakers list unless I'm missing, in which case, please just shout.
Permission to speak.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, as a representative for the entire executive team, that we hear everything that you guys dictated to us today earlier in the meeting. We hear you, we see you, and we're doing our best. So just know that we hear you, and we'll be in touch shortly.
Thank you, Executive Vice President Wright. With that said, I will call for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
To adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Consent.
Consent.